Okay, that's cool, right? Looks like it's recording. Yes. All right. So at one point I had these color coded and I think they still are. So let's see if it still rings true to what I think I did. What are some examples, some easy ones? Okay, this is my most basic one. And this actually I would make, I would make this pink. So this is a miscellaneous meeting with me. And this is for if I have a one-off client, maybe this client has already purchased time with me, or we just want to hop on Zoom real quick to chat. For the most part, I don't really do discovery calls. So it's kind of rare that I use this because I don't do free shit. And there is no charge on this. But in the case that I do use this, then I would use this if like, cause I was like, hey, you know, I want some SquareSpace help. Do you have time to chat with me? And what I did was I embedded this. And if you guys want, we can go through this on how I did this. It's super easy. lifemade.com/chat. So if, cause I was like, hey, can we chat real quick? I just sent her this link and then she can come here to my website and book. And there's nothing available. And I'll tell you real quick, I don't want to open my personal calendar while I'm recording, but this is mentioned in the last party. This says no times available, even though, let's see it in here. So part one, we'll go through each section, but let me show you this part real quick. The second part is when you set your hours and you see, oh, I actually did delete it in here, but let's go back. So like, the 4th, let's say I actually did have time. Let's schedule this time. Let's say I'm available from 9 to 5 on Monday, the 3rd. I'm available Monday, the 3rd from 9 to 5. Refresh, let's come to May. You see how the 3rd is actually grayed out, even though I just said and saved that on the 3rd I'm available from 9 to 5. That's because I made an all-day calendar invite. It's called, like, whenever I travel, I make all-day calendar events. So like Megan in Dallas. And for Megan in Dallas, when you make an all-day calendar event, show you real quick, let's make some shit up. Create. So let's say I said out of office. No, I don't actually want one. Got it. All right, I don't actually want out of office. So I want an event. So I say I have an out of office. I say all day for Wednesday the 28th through Wednesday the 28th. So just for today, out of office. If I go back in, you see right here how this the scheduling says free. That means that it's like it's an all day event. It's kind of like just a warning for yourself when you make all day events, right? So it defaults to free. I change this sometimes to busy. So when I was in Costa Rica, I made Megan in Costa Rica, it defaulted to free. I went in and I changed it to busy. And that's what, because Calendly looks at all of my calendars. And so Calendly will see that I'm busy on that day. So now automatically no one will book me. So maybe, you know, next Thursday, I need to go to the immigration office and I don't know what time. I'll just make an all day event for Thursday, mark it as busy. No one can book me now. And I can put that on any of my calendars because Calendly looks at all of my calendars, which we'll go through. So that's just a quick note. And it's a cute little, you know, we like things cute. So I like to embed them on my website when relevant. So we'll close this. So let's go from the beginning. So cool. Miscellaneous meeting with me. Don't really need any instructions. You can make your custom link to whatever you want it to be. This chat with May is obviously custom. We'll go through how to create that. How long is the meeting? It's 30 minutes. How far in advance can they book me? Cool. Or is there a date range? Or can they book me whenever in the future? Whatever. We're going to go through these more. But basically, that's pretty much it. For something that's basic, you really only need the first box, the second box, and this one if you wanted to add something else. So like, I usually will always include something about, let me know what this meeting is about so I don't go in there blind. But if it's something general, then name, email, that's enough. So that's that. And pink is like, you see this one is homies. I have it hidden so that it's a custom link just for my friends. And that's chat with, probably most likely chat with May / homies. Let's see. Yep, chat with May / homies. Green is for me like one of the consults, particularly the business success or anything kind of like, I guess I think of it as any consult that I offer that can make people money. And so I'll color code it green. And then blue, nomad life, pink again, 60-minute chat with Megan. That's just some general shit. I actually don't need this. I'm gonna delete it. Anything I do that's custom to the person is red. So I have like for example, I have a friend, she bought a 5-class pack, like yoga package for me to like lead her through 45-minute classes. And she bought 5 of them. Obviously, like we don't have she doesn't live the type of life where she's just going to have it every Tuesday at the same time for 5 weeks. She just wants to book them whenever she wants. And that's my friend, Kim. So Kim has, it's somewhere. It was somewhere. Where you go? Where's Kim? She's missing. Oh, here we go. And actually, this is wrong. This is red. So this is Kim's personal link to book time with me. She has it. I reference it in emails to her. I told her to bookmark it right when I onboarded her. I said, add this to your bookmarks bar. So whenever you want to book time with me, it's ready and you just book it. So that just lives there. It's hidden because no one else is going to need it except her. So I don't want that to show calendly.com/chat with me because that's my custom URL. These are all the things that people can book with me. So like now that we're here, we see Marina, people can actually see that and we don't need it anymore anyway. So I'm actually going to turn it off. Boom, let's refresh. Perfect. And I'm going to hide this one too. I don't want people to just be able to book free time with me. And that is this one. Don't worry about this setting because we're going to explain it in a second. Boom. Where are you though? Where are you? Where are you? I'll find it after. What else? Yeah, so in this regard, it's pretty much whatever you want it to be. So this is what I do. This is old. We can get rid of this. Like this is Candace's special link for when she wants to book time with me. And yeah, I'm big on making custom links for things that are recurring with people. So Keziah, if you had a client who is similar to Kim and they don't know when they want to book, I find that this is a great way to automate that. And just, I guess I could do a quick intro. My whole thing with Calendly and why I said reclaim your time is because I do not like questions. I do not like back and forth. And I cannot stand that, like, are you free at 11 on Thursday? Oh, let me check my calendar. Maybe, what about 1:30? Oh, damn, 2:15? Who has the time? That is so inefficient. And this is to eliminate that back and forth and make things easier for both people. And what I'll do is I'll send the link and then I'll say, if for some reason, none of the times absolutely do not work for you, then let me know. But for the most part, I really want to stick to the times that I have available because that's what I've made it that way for a reason. I don't do Monday meetings. I don't do Friday meetings. And I don't, well, you know, I don't do anything before 11. So it's basically a small window to talk to people. And I like it that way. And this is a great way to uphold that. I'm going to delete Marina. So now I'm going to do one from scratch. And you can see they just made this maybe like 2 months ago. They launched this one-off meeting option. So Candace does a pastoral program for someone, and for some reason it comes with a meeting to recap it. She could send them a one-off link because it's not recurring. We don't want them to be able to book time with her after that one meeting. You only get one chance. This is one meeting, that's it. So that's when you would do that one-off. Pretty self-explanatory. Other than that, everything else is going to be an event type. So then they just started doing this as well, groups. So Candace is coaching 2 friends and we need to figure out when they both can meet it. Or they both get to schedule time with her. That's when you would use the group. Again, pretty self-explanatory. For the most part, it's one-on-one. Let's do a pretend consult that I'm going to launch. Okay, I want to launch, let's say I'm going to launch an automation console. And location, you have all these options. I'm going to choose Zoom, and we'll go through how to integrate those. And if you want, you can give them options. So maybe, you know, everyone kind of defaults to Zoom, but like you could actually just call people. Remember that thing where you didn't have to be on video all the time. And so if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to give them choices, then you could say phone call. And this part I love so much. I will call my invitee, or my invitee will call me. I'm very big with my clients. If we do have, so for example, I had an accountability client and we would talk on the phone every Tuesday. I made it very clear from the jump, he is to call me. And that's something that I'm very consistent about. And pretty much, honestly, I do everything where they got to call me. I'm going to be ready. I usually am always waiting for other people. So to avoid me waiting on them, I just call me when you're ready. So I love this option, but we're not going to add it. You can do in-person meeting. You can do Microsoft Teams if that's a thing, who knows? And then you can ask them like, hey, what do you want to do? Or you can make your own custom option. Description for now, let me show you one that's like more built out. I'll show you like a console the description. Let's do this one. So this is if someone wants to have like, it's like, I think a 90-minute call, and we basically clean up your shit in regards to ops. So it could be something related to SOPs. It could be a very specific procedure or system that you want to create. And this is the full description. So I get very, very detailed in here. I kind of treat this description box as a sales page, actually. So why am I dope? Why do you want to work with me? What to expect from this time? What are you going to get from this time? What do I need from you? So that way it's all clear right here and there's no question about it. And I, in regards to my copy, I try to make it very clear who I am and who you're going to work with. And so if you are using this for client management, maybe that's something that you can sprinkle in. I'm big on, like with my resumes, I'm big on having your personality in it. So that way there's, you know, like with me, you're not going to be confused when you hop on a call and I'm saying fuck every 6 sentences, because I want you to know who I am from the jump. No confusion. So any way that you can make your personality known in here, to do that. That's your time. Perfect. SquareSpace. I'm checking the chat real quick. I just learned how to duplicate the tab. Yes. Okay. Dope. And integrate into SquareSpace. Okay, perfect. So that's the description. And that's basically, that's your imagine. This is your sales copy. We're going to include who you are, why, why you're hired, and we're going to say what they get out of it, what to expect, and then how to prep. We're gonna just call this automation, make it whatever you want, choose a color if you want. You know I'm big on colors, also big on making your own color system. I'm big on red, yellow, green, but choose your own. And so maybe, okay, and yoga talk, maybe you have beginner clients, intermediate clients, and advanced clients. So boom, red, yellow, green, right? You can use these colors however you want to use them. You can use them as like an ombre. You don't have to use them obviously, but color is a great way to create like a mental system for yourself and apply it to all different areas. Date range. So I kind of leave this at a default of 60 days, but, oh, I know an example. The other day I gave away a free travel consult, and I said it has to be booked by the end of May. I would say here, the date range is from today until the 31st. After that, you can't book it, right? duration. You can do up to an hour or put your own. You can, some of mine are like half days. I do anything from 3 hours to 8 hours, make it whatever you want. Then this is something very recent, and I'm so happy they did it because you guys do not understand how frustrating it was. Every time you made a new Calendly, event like this, you had to go in and create your availability from scratch. And it was the most frustrating thing ever. Now, luckily, they let you create your own. So this is by default. I made one for like holiday season, right? Maybe for the holidays, you're like, I'm only working like 10 to noon for the holiday season. You can create as many as you want in the settings, and we'll go through that. So right now we'll leave it at default. This part is so important. So this is the second section. When can people book this event? And at the bottom, it says, want to add time before or after your events? Hell yes, because shit goes over. And even if shit doesn't go over, I've had it where I didn't change the setting and then I'm getting booked back to back. And I'm like, all right, I gotta go. I got this call and you gotta hop on. And I'm not trying to live my life like that. So don't choose chaos. Give yourself some buffer time. And if you want, it'll default to 15 minutes before the call, which is nice, right? You have time to get ready. And then 15 minutes after. I usually change this to 30 minutes after so that we have some time to go over. And then also I can just breathe for a second, should I have something else after. Now, additional rules. Show available times and increments of, and so you can choose, in what case would you change this though? I wouldn't change this. Yeah, I wouldn't change that. This one, another key feature, scheduling conditions. Invitees can't schedule within, I change this usually to like 12. Sometime, honestly, you can change it to 24 hours. What this is saying is, how soon can they book me for that? How soon in the future can they book this time with me? So if you had this for 1 hour, you could be chilling, laying naked in bed, and then you're like, oh shit, I have someone just booked me for an hour from now. Or you're out and about living your life, someone could book you for an hour from now. So this is like one of my key things that I always change. And give yourself some time, especially if it's an event type that you need to prep for, right? Because you want to make sure that you have time to ease into it. This one, also super important, maximum allowed events per day for this event. So this got real for me with, last year I was offering like a bunch of Nomad consults, like 15 minutes for free just to start gathering data and clean up my offering. And I didn't put this. So there was a day where I had like 5 of them. And that's because I didn't limit how many people could schedule with me for that day. So if you think of an offering, especially something like that, where you're like, again, I'm not big on free things unless I'm learning something from it. So if it's mutually beneficial, then I'll offer it for free. So especially if you're doing something like that, then be sure to maximize the amount of meetings you have per day so you don't burn yourself out. So honestly, I usually say like 2 or 3. Time zone display, leave this, automatically detect, unless you're going to be meeting in person. So Candace, maybe you're onboarding someone who's in where you live, and then you can lock the time zone for your location. So that is not relative to theirs, so there's no confusion. Otherwise, it's always going to be this one. And that's because when someone goes to book, it'll show the times in their time zone, not mine. And then lastly, make this a secret event. So that link that I have for my homies, that's a secret event. It's not on that page. So how I said, where's my main page? This one. Anything that you don't want here for the public to book with you, then this is where you would make it a secret event. And that's that. Then, boom. So it's already like, that's pretty much, at a minimum, that's all you need is those first 2 boxes. Are we going to do more than that? Come on, of course. But that is all you need. And then boom, I have the link ready. I can just copy this link, copy the link address, and start sending it out to the masses. Can add it to my Instagram bios, whatever I got to do. But we're going to add some more. So especially if this is a consult, and let me show you this one. So this is my ops and strategy, whatever I call it, refinement. I asked 7 questions. does it create that link automatically? It creates a link automatically in the first box. As you do your description, you're going to see it right after, right here at the bottom. And you can customize the link if you want to, or it'll give you like, it'll default to the title of the event, but I always change it. So this is where you would change it. You can honestly, I could just say ops, chatwithmay.ops. And Candace would say that we want these to be clean for SEO purposes, maybe. I want them to be rememberable, because I'm not trying to, someone wants to book a consult with me. In my ideal world, I'm not coming into Calendly to then copy the link and send it to them. I named them so on point for my brain that I'm just like, oh, chat with May / I already know what it is. So I would say in this regard, when you create a link, the custom URL for the event, try to name it for your brain so that you can remember. Because again, we're trying to keep this as efficient as possible. So we want you to be able to just throw that link at someone, and an ideal client books it right away. They pay your shit right away. So why did I come here? Oh, this one. So third section, invitee questions. These are optional. You don't have to do this, but especially if you're doing a consult, I recommend you do this, because I don't want them to be able to pay until I have everything that I need to start researching for our meeting. I hate waiting for shit, especially with client deliverables. So they cannot book unless they fill this out. And everything is a required question when I did these. So I asked, what's your goal for the call? What do you want to learn? If you're a service provider, what do you offer? What's your team structure? What's on your mind? This helps me create an agenda, because for everything that I do, shocker, I create an agenda. Give me a brief overview of your systems and your processes. So like, what do you have going on right now? What's working? What's not working? Boom. So that section is the third section, invitee questions, and you can ask them whatever you want. So let's add, do you integrate Calendly with Stripe? Yes, we're gonna go through, I integrate a few things actually. So if I won't forget though, because we're about to hit it. Let's say, what's your birthday? Because especially if these are clients, for fostering relationship purposes, maybe you want to get their birthday so we can pre-schedule emails in Gmail, which we went over last time, and then you can, boost the rapport with your individual clients. Required, it's on, it's not off. We want it on. And then what kind of response can they give? One line, and this is the same as a lot of you on here use SquareSpace, so it's the same as when you make a form and you give, the options of what type of, how they can respond, checkboxes, text, multiple lines, radio buttons, so you have to choose, or a phone number. That's it. And we save and close it. Workflows, we're gonna save. We're gonna go over that after. Let's save this. Because those two I wanna dive into. Confirmation page. So similar to, for those of you who use ConvertKit, after someone subscribes to a form, you can choose where they go. So for some of my consultations, I have it where they get sent to my website. I have it where they get sent to a custom page on my website that's like, you're official, I can't wait to see you. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, because you can just make that quick page in SquareSpace, right? And then if you did that, you would just say redirect to an external site. Boom, put the link. So let's say I'm going to redirect them to Life Made. And we don't need to pass event details to that page. That's it. So now when someone books this with me, they book it, cool. And then they get sent to this page that's like, yay, we're official. Or I send you to my shop. Yeah, or you upsell me, send them to your shop. So that's confirmation page. Now collect payments. Do not collect payments for this event. Accept payments with Stripe. Accept payments with PayPal. I only use Stripe because PayPal fees are wild. But if you deal with people internationally, then it's definitely beneficial to use PayPal because that's universal, even though they scam us sometimes. But I integrate it with Stripe. Save and close. Oh, let's say I have some money. Let's say $100. Payout, payment terms. And there's another place to add this. Will it to click both? Yes, on the back end. I'm going to show you actually right now after this, the integrations. Payment terms, I always say something like, please reach out to me, if you need a custom invoice on behalf of Life Made Easy, because maybe someone, they need it for accounting purposes. They'll obviously get a payment confirmation in their email when this is booked, but sometimes people need some custom shit. So I'll say something like that. Also, there's another place to add this that we'll go over later, but I'll say no refunds. You can reschedule one time because we're not about to be playing on my schedule. Boom. So that's that. We're going to come back and we're going to go through workflows and notifications and cancellation policy. But first, we're going to go through the navigation at the top. So that's our home, which is actually where we see all of our event types. Availability. This is what I was talking about, where you can create that schedule. So maybe Keziah has one called clients, or maybe, you know what? She has one called yoga classes, because she knows that she's not teaching yoga after 3 p.m. Whereas she is okay having a consult at 5 p.m. And that's a whole different schedule, right? But for yoga, she's like, I'm doing 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. with personal clients. That's it. So this is where you made yoga classes. You have yoga classes here. And then now active on, so you actually, which is nice. Now, before you had to go into each of these events and create hours for each of those events. Now you made yoga classes an availability type, and you can come through here. She already added all of her yoga offerings to Calendly, right? She can just type yoga, boom, 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 check all this shit off, boom, boom, boom. Now your yoga availability applies to all of your yoga offerings. You feel me? Does that make sense? Okay, dope. What else? Please don't start blowing me up. And so, yeah, so here is you tapped, let me zoom out a smidge. You tapped yoga classes, and now you can edit your availability for yoga classes. So let's do that. Let's say, let's start fresh for next week. And something I like about this is you can schedule for that date, or you can schedule for all Sundays. So let's pretend we're just gonna say that, we're gonna say you don't work on Sunday, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and same for Saturday. Edit all Mondays. Add availability. We said 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Apply. Boom. All Mondays, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Let's pretend we did that for Monday through Saturday. Okay. Now, what if though you're like, Thursday, I'm cool with like an 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. block or something like that. Like just for Thursdays, I'm okay with that. Edit all Thursdays. Let's delete this because we said 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. Not 3 a.m., 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, what are numbers? Now, I just said though, right? You're on Thursdays, you're okay with doing 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. yoga classes. Plus sign, you're gonna add another availability to Thursdays. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Just for Thursdays though. Apply it, boom. Now on Thursdays, they can book you from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You have an hour break, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. May 13th, I already know I'm traveling that day. I'm gonna come to May 13th. I'm gonna edit the date because I'm not editing all Thursdays. I just care about May 13th. So I'm gonna edit this date and I'm gonna delete both of these because I'm not free that day. I'm not doing this. Done. So they can still book me every Thursday, but not on the 13th. Let's say I'm on some Megan shit and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing these on Monday anymore. It's dead. I'm gonna edit all Mondays. I'm gonna delete my availability and I'm gonna apply. No more booking with me on Mondays. Does that make sense? If not, the chat is open. So tell me if any of this, if you want some clarification, but I think it's pretty straightforward. And again, that's just availability at the top. And this is like 2 months old and it is a game changer. So if you are making different offerings, take advantage of that for sure. And at least do default hours right here. When you set up your account, that's one of, actually I'm gonna write that down. Something that I want to highlight. I want to highlight, set up your default hours. So that's one of your primary tasks when you create your account, is to, at a minimum, set up your default hours, because you're not trying to create all these different events and then go through and edit each one. That's inefficient. Boom. Integrations. The fun stuff. So, there are a few that I use. Calendly for Chrome, I do use, and about to have you all up in my shit, but whatevs. So you see right here at the bottom, that Calendly icon on the Gmail, that's that integration. So when I'm talking to someone, I'm about to email them, ad hoc meeting, that one-off meeting, right? Maybe I'm like, you know what? Let's hop on a call. Here's a link, book some time with me. It's someone wants to get a sponsorship, or someone wants to have a partnership with me. It's a discovery call on their end. I don't want to go back and forth. And a lot of people, you will learn, which is crazy, they don't have these links. So if someone is trying to book time with me, I'm like, even if technically I should be coveting them, I will still send my link. So that's where you would do that, the ad hoc. Or it's Kim. I can just copy the link. Maybe it's a 30-minute success consult. I can just copy the link. So you can pull up all your public event types. Actually, not even just public. You can pull up all of your event types off of this Chrome extension so that you can just pop them in to your Gmail, which is super, super, super convenient for me. Let's go back. We don't need these. No, go away. Here we go. So that's that. I don't use Salesforce. I don't use HubSpot. Candace, we were just talking about APIs. It's right here if you ever needed it. I don't know what you would need it for, honestly, but who knows? So MailChimp, I don't use it with this. Zoom, I would say that's step 3 for when you set this up, add your Zoom. That's how on the calendar event type, how I was like, oh, I had Zoom as an option. That's how I was able to add it. And fun fact, because I reached out to Calendly, usually this API would be like, no, actually, I've never had to use this API. So I can't really think of an example that you would have to use it, to be honest, because when we go through SquareSpace, you'll see it has nothing to do with that. So I don't even know what you would use it for, but if you do, it's there. So Calendly, I started paying for it last year because you had to pay to add Zoom, the integration, and for people to be able to book time with you on Zoom, because if you didn't, they could create the invite. You could then see, you'll get an email notification that they booked that event with you. And then you could just edit that event and add like your Zoom link, right? We're not trying to do that. So I paid the $10 because I want this to be as automated as possible. Now, because of the pandemia, it is free to use the Zoom integration with Calendly. I don't know when they'll cancel that, but for right now, it is free. So if that's all you really need to add is just a Zoom, you do not have to pay for Calendly. And I think you get like 5 event types for free with the free plan, and then you get the Zoom integration. Only the Zoom integration is free though, not the other ones. So then we have Slack. So if you do use Slack, you could make it that every time someone booked an event with you, you would get a notification in a certain channel. And Slack is something that's really beautiful. I don't do it anymore, but I did used to use Slack for me, like not even to talk to teams, just to like manage my workflow. I would use Slack. Oh, that could be a good productivity party. Rennie, could you write that down? I love Slack, but I don't really have a need for it. Thank you. And then Stripe. And yes, like Slack is life. honestly, you just click it and set it up. I can't go through because not that I would want to go through and record that anyway, but it's just going to prompt you the way that it normally would. You log in and that's it. So that's that. What else do I use? So this is where same thing. This is where you add PayPal. I don't use Intercom. This is where you could add your Google Analytics. This is where you could add your Pixel. If you wanted to integrate anything with Zapier, just out of curiosity, quick side note, because I'm curious, Zapier, Calendly. Let's see what they even have to offer in Zapier for Calendly, because I don't really know. Create Zoom meetings for new Calendly events. I mean, that's dumb because that's already what it's doing. Create Google Calendar events from new scheduled Calendly events. That's dumb. That's Calendly. So yeah, Slack messages, like I said. Okay, you could make a sheet of all the Calendly events that you've ever booked. That's actually cute because then you can monitor if you had a bunch of different consultation types and you did that, and you could see which ones were performing better rather than just trying to think about it in your brain. Yeah, I can't really think of a way though, other than that I would use that. So that's that. And then Gmail for workflows. Oh, it's in beta because I never heard of that. Calendar connections. The pivotal part to all of this. The only way this works is the calendar connections. And so you see right here, it says 4 out of 6. Like, love whoever made the limit 6. I appreciate you because you can see I'm already at 4. And that's because I'm big on, as I say all the time, compartmentalizing my life. So Ola is like Megan, the one who runs the empire of all the things. Life Made is Life Made stuff, Life Made Easy. Flowers, that's all the CBD company stuff. And then Megan.Burke, that's my personal life. So anything, usually someone books with me this week. I need to figure out why they were able to book with me because it should have been a conflict, but it wasn't. But these are the calendars that are connected. Oh, okay. Only one event is allowed. Okay. On the free version, you can only add one calendar. So if you did want to add more calendars, you would pay.
And only one event. They took away the 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you can make that work for a while. That's what I did for a while. It's basically like, when you get to a point where you need it. And I would say just wait until you need it. But maybe you need it from the jump, and that's okay. So then you're going to say check for conflicts. So I have these 4 calendars, and then I added, I think when you do that, it'll automatically add all of them here. If you wanted to take one out, maybe, it didn't matter. Or, I just figured it out. So someone was able to book me for today, an hour before the productivity party. And the meeting was for over 3 hours. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense, but I know why. It's because I have the productivity party. We went through this last month. You can make custom calendars in Google Calendar. I have a productivity party custom calendar. And it's right here. So I have a productivity party calendar right here. All the productivity parties get scheduled to that calendar. And here, I know why that conflict didn't come up. If I edit this, you see how it's checking success at lifemade.com. It's not checking my other calendars. So that's something to note. I'm glad that we figured that out. If you do add a new calendar type, make sure you come into Calendly and update it. Let me just make sure that all of these are here. So personal calendar. I'm kind of into this. I'm going to actually, so I have phases of the moon on my personal Google calendar. It's a calendar. If you just search phases of the moon, it'll come up and you can add it to your calendar and it'll show you the phases. I'm going to add this because I'm going to go in and I'm going to make it so that no one can book time with me on full moons because I'd be wild. So I'm going to protect my future self with that and do that after today. And then we'll add power hours, right? Yes. Cycle full moon vibes. Then last thing, add to calendar. So cool. They're going to check all these calendars for conflicts. That's dope. People can book time with me. That's dope. But where do they actually show up? So this is where you choose the calendar that you want them to show up. For most, not just for most, actually for everything that I do within Calendly, it's Megan, Megan the Empress is the one who offers all these consults. It really has nothing to do with Life Made Easy. So that's where it goes. It goes on meganburke.com calendar. Now let's go through account settings just to make sure there's nothing. This is important for me. Well, no, it's important for you too. The time zone. So especially when you're traveling or whatever, if you go away for a week, that's fine. But if you relocate, make sure you come in here and change the time zone. And something that I love that all platforms should take note of is this current time. So as you change it, so I know it's 6:47 p.m. right now in Nashville, and I just know that it's correct, which is love. That's that. Quick message. Branding, you can add your logo. You can choose to have their branding, but like, why? And then you're gonna make your link. So mine is Chat with May, whatever you want it to be custom. I'll definitely make it custom always. And then your login stuff, and that's it. So that's all the backend stuff. Before I go into the workflows and such, and then I'll show you how to embed it on Squarespace. Any questions aside from those? You good? You happy?
Yes, I have a question. So you said initially or before, outside of this, you said that the events you had a workaround for creating additional events, even though they give you one. Is that still a thing, or with them revamping it, does that not exist?
What?
The events, before this, you had said you had a workaround for being able to create multiple events on the free one, even though it's still only one.
I had a workaround for collecting payments. So that's mostly why I pay for Calendly, is because you have to pay to be able to charge them using Stripe or PayPal. If you did not want to do that, you could make one event type. You could sell, because a lot of us on here already, I think all of us really have Squarespace. So you could sell a product on Squarespace, right? If you're in something like ConvertKit, you could make an automation in ConvertKit where they get an email after that purchase. And in that email, you had a link to that Calendly form, right? Or, you know how Calendly was like, after they're done, where do you want to send them? And I said, there's a redirect link. And I said, like, oh, I send them to my website, like, you're done, you're official. For some of them, you could make a page like that and say, all right, you're all booked. Now, here's the link, book time with me for your consult on Calendly. So that's how I would automate that if you don't want to. Yes, right. It's a great workaround, because especially since all of us already pay for Squarespace, it's really for efficiency's sake that you have to pay for it. And I would say that's how I did it for a long time. Like, especially with the free Zoom integration, you don't have to pay for this right away, but you do need to have a paid Zoom account to integrate it with Calendly. So that's something to note. What else? Beaming. Good. All right. You're welcome. So, let me try to get anything else. Cool. You're con gusto. All right, so let's go through those last two settings, and then I'll show you how to embed this on Squarespace. But all of you already know how to embed it on Squarespace, I promise.
Wait. Can you, like, just for me, can you show me how to embed with Calendly on Squarespace?
Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna show you two more things, and then we're gonna do it together.
Awesome, thank you.
Sure. And it's super straightforward. So let's do it in this automation one. Super cute. You can make your own little workflow. And when I say you can, like, you do not have to do this. This is something that I plan on using now. Like, when I start offering these like really specific niche down consultations, I'm going to start using these, but you don't have to. So let's pretend that we are. So we're going to make a workflow. And cute, they already have them for you, like some templates. So email reminder to them, reduce no-shows and send them an automated email. Or when people are like, are we still meeting tomorrow? Leave me alone, bro. We're meeting tomorrow. It's on the calendar. You can send them an email reminder and you can set the cadence for when they'll get it. So email reminder to them. Which events do you want it to apply to? Maybe you're like, any event I have, I want them to get a reminder. Select all. And maybe, you know, maybe if it's with your friend or something, you can uncheck it. But for the most part, you're like, I want them to get that for everything. When do they get it? Before the new event is scheduled, before the event starts, so at the time the event starts, when the event ends, or when the event is canceled. So if it's before the event starts, you need a time, right? You got to say how early you want them to get it. And then what happens? So you said, what's going to happen? Email reminder to them. What events is it going to apply to? Cool. When do they get it? And now what do they get? They're going to get an email because it's a template. So the template's already done. Now you can customize though the whole email. So you can say, you know, make sure you did finish the homework from last time. You can add little reminders for them, right? If it's yoga, make sure you come ready with a yoga mat, a water bottle, and a towel. This is your time to add anything that they need to know ahead of time. You can change the name. If you do use ConvertKit or any type of mass email platform, it's similar in that you can use all these different, and Squarespace does this. You can use all these different tags. So you can use the answers as well from their form. You don't have to retype it. You can be like, hey, FYI, this is what we're talking, or reminder, this is what we're talking about tomorrow. And you can pull that, this is what we're talking about tomorrow, from the form when you said, what do you want to talk about, right? And then they can get a quick recap about what the fuck is about to go down. So there are a bunch of different ways that you can use this. And you can get super, super creative with that. Then you can add other stuff. So send email to host. In this case, the host, for all of us, we're all small business owners. We're doing this on our own. But maybe I changed the host in the backend to Rennie. And I want to make sure Rennie gets an email notification, a reminder that she has to meet with someone. Send a text. You can send them a text reminder. And then same thing, reminder, cancellation, booking confirmation, follow-up. So you can schedule this follow-up if you want, not for this one, right? Because we said before the event starts, 24 hours. But you could, especially for all you service providers, you could make a 1 hour after the event, send a follow-up text. Hey, how'd you like our session today? Maybe you're a personal trainer. How'd you like our session today? Is there anything that you would change? Boom, now you're getting feedback. Hey, what'd you think about the music? Hey, is there anything 1 hour or 12 hours before class? Is there anything you want to cover tomorrow? What's 1 hour before class? Is anything bothering you today? Oh yeah, my hips are tight. You can get so creative with this, and not to be gratuitously, is it gratuitously? Yeah. Not just to be recklessly creative, but really get creative in the sense of how can you be best prepared? How can you set yourself up for success for these meetings? And sometimes for a lot of us who work with clients, there are little things that if we did have these ahead of time, it could help us. If you're a dope yoga teacher, you don't need to prep an hour beforehand to know about their hips. You can do that on site. But what if you did know an hour beforehand? And while you're in the car driving over, you can get creative with your sequencing and switch it up, right? So as you make these, just think about things like that. So that's that. We're gonna continue. I don't think it saved it. Okay, dope. So we don't have to go through all of these, but they're pretty straightforward. Email your own feedback survey. Send a thank you email. Email additional resources. I stay sending other like additional links, helpful links or whatever. Maybe I have a link to my saved Google Maps list, and it has all my favorite spots all around the world. So when people book travel consults with me, I give that away as a gift because that shit got gold on it. And I could send email additional resources. I could have it so that an hour after a travel consult with me, it's like, hey, insert first name. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. It was such a joy to talk about the trip of your dreams. here's a link to all the places I love around the world, and it'll open right up in your Google Maps and you can see everywhere that I love, things like that. So if you want to add an extra touch, it's here, or you can create your own workflow. And again, this is not imperative that you use it, but I know for a lot of you on this call right now, I could think of many, many cute little ways that you could use this feature. But this is not, of all the things, this is not a priority for you right now. Lastly, this guy. So calendar invitations, how do you want them to look? Mine is a default: event name, event description, location, question and answers, which I love because so when someone books a Calendly, a meeting, and you get what I'm saying, right? Book some shit with you. It shows up on your calendar, but you get an email notification because you're not being invited to it, right? So you're not going to get a notification on your phone because you're not being invited. It's your event, but you will get an email notification. And then if you have Stripe, you'll get 2 emails. It'll be like, so-and-so just paid you on Stripe and you just booked this, someone just booked this event with you. When they do that in the email confirmation and also on the calendar invite, all the questions they answered, the responses are there, which I love. So if you're about to roll up to some shit 30 minutes beforehand, you can just hop in your calendar, tap the invite, and you'll see all the details about what they said. And I actually, everything, when I have consults, anything that they answer in that, I create a form, a page on Notion, and my first section is always intake. And I just copy everything they say, I put it there so that we both have it as a quick reference for when the actual consult is happening. Because again, I want to set future me up for success. So as future me is taking notes, it's just ready to go. And I'll set up that Notion page. I have a list of personal clients. I set up that Notion page for them once they book. Instantly they book it, I create the page, I add the intake stuff, and then honestly, I don't really think about it until like 10 minutes beforehand. If it's like a 30 to 1 hour minute consult, there's probably not much prep for me. But if there is, either way, it's already ready, right? Next, we did workflows, email reminders. You can just turn them on here if you want to. You can personalize, these are like the simpler ones. You can use a no reply email address. So maybe when I remind someone that we have a meeting, I don't want them to be able to email me back. I'm just like, listen, we have a meeting, that's it. We don't got to talk about anything. So that's when you could use a no reply. Or if it was like a bunch of people, or sometimes I'll meet with clients and they'll add their team members to the calendar invite, right? Because you want everyone to be on the call. You can use a no reply because like, I don't want your team emailing me. We'll talk about it when we see each other. So that's just a way to protect your future self. And then here, text reminders. You can turn them on, you can personalize them. This important part right here, again, all you service providers, show cancellation policy. And this is where you say, this is where I would say, you can cancel up to 1 time, or you can say you can cancel, you can, we're not gonna say cancel, you can reschedule. We can say, we'll be generous and say twice, even though I would never say that. And that's that. Before we move on to SquareSpace and how I embed it, questions, comments, concerns, jokes. Good, feel happy, feel equipped. Again, this is all recorded, so you can go from the beginning.
I do have a comment. So when I have, sometimes like companies will pitch me and then be like, we'd love to jump on a call. Here's our Calendly. And to me, it is the biggest turnoff in the world when someone gives that. I just like, what are you doing? I don't want any part of this. Maybe it's because it's part of a pitch where they came to me and I didn't seek them out. But have you ever experienced that like personally where you just feel like offended by the Calendly, and or have you had any clients be like, what is this? Can't you just tell me like what time we're meeting? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I entirely agree. I think it's so gauche to just hit someone up and be like, oh, I'm trying to chat. Here's my link. Who cares? Who said I was trying to talk to you?
Yeah, that's what it is then maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's like you said, it's like, you're trying to pitch me, right? So actually I'm going to send you my link. And honestly, anything I do, I send my link. If in that case, if someone was trying to pitch me and I was interested, I would have responded with my Calendly. I would have said, no, you can use mine. you want to pitch to me, so you put in the work and you
Okay.
okay. I have had people respond not like angrily, but maybe a little salty, maybe a little turned off. And the only people that have done that though are the people who slide in my DMs for free advice.
Mm.
Because my shit is like, oh cool, there's a link in my bio, or I mean, let me make it easier for you. You want to talk about traveling? I've had people, at least 4 people tell me they want to go to Guanacaste. Hey, oh my God, that's where I want to go in a few months. Okay, cool. Here's a link if you want to talk about it. And those people get salty. Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Otherwise, no, because I think Calendly is just such a known thing now. And I know attached to me as a person is efficiency, right? So I don't think it really, you know what I mean?
I love it when I'm your client and I book through you. I think I was just super turned off, maybe because they came to me and then I'm just like, what are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And
Cool.
for all of us, don't ever do that. I would never do that. I would never hit up someone and say, oh my God, I really want to talk to you. Could you book some time with me? Like, no, absolutely not. I'm using this versus Dubsado. I'm thinking Dubsado more for long term, but I'm not fluent in both. Okay, let's talk about that real quick, actually. So I don't use Dubsado. I don't think Dubsado is I don't think it's relevant to me. And you two can correct me if I'm wrong. I think, are we all, no, you're not PMAC. Reddy was PMAC. I think Rakesha, you were PMAC too, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Dubsado is to automate client flows, right? Like client management, automating the contracts, getting them signed, collecting payments, recurring payments, monthly payments. Is that the vibe? Is that correct?
It's a little bit of a Calendly mashup with that. Yeah. So they've
Okay.
taken a lot of like Calendly features off of here and they've incorporated that, but it's mainly for keeping your clients organized and having like templates automated. Yeah.
Automated email templates and shit.
client outreach.
And client outreach. So like going after leads and stuff, right?
Yeah. And
Okay.
they're
Now,
really big on contracts and stuff.
they do or they don't?
They're really big on contracts.
Right. So that's why I don't use it, because if I do have a contract with someone, like if anyone, basically, I mean, this could be bad, but I usually am in bringing contracts when it's at least like, when it's an ongoing project, or when it's like, we're about to really get, like, when I really need to create the scope of work, then I'll do contracts. And that's usually when it's like over a 1 month commitment for a specific project. That's not really my vibe. So it's just irrelevant to me to use Dubsado. So unless you are like super client focused, like that is your offering, working with individual clients, but also that you're, I would say at least 5 clients, because from how much is Dubsado per month?
So it's a total, it depends on the package you get. It's a total of $350 a year if you get like the ultimate package, and then you can downsize, and one's like $250 something, and that comes with all the client portals. You get 3 free automatically though.
Okay, that's not a bad price. In that case, considering the price, I would say, I mean, that sounds dope. But again, I would have to have like 5 clients, because in regards to email templates, we went over Gmail templates last time, right? I create all my templates in Gmail. You can also automate that when someone if Candace kept getting the same question, or maybe there's like a trigger word for when people reach out to partner with her, she can make an automation where every time an email comes through with that word, that you instantly respond with, oh my God, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I fucking love you. Here's my Calendly link. Let's chat about it. So I still wouldn't use Dubsado. Because yeah, I mean, how many contracts am I really signing like that, Yeah, it's tough. Honestly, I think that's going to come down to just personal preference. Because from everything you just said, again, unless you have a super amount of clients, which also, I don't know that that's the goal, is to have a lot of clients. I would rather have a lot of high ticket clients than a bunch of low ticket clients. And in that regard, then I especially say I wouldn't use Dubsado. You feel me? So yeah, I guess it's personal preference. If it helps, Calendly is Black owned. So that's also why I'm committed, I'm dedicated. And let's pull up before I show you how to embed on Squarespace. Let's look at Calendly pricing. I think I pay $15 a month. which I mean, that's still money, you feel me? But at the same time, I think I pay $15. No, I do. I pay $15 for later each month. And I think Calendly, I use Calendly more than later, and I think it's more worth it. So price wise, it's not bad. Yeah, I pay $15 a month. And that's why I get those 6 calendars. $10, 2 calendars. And I think you just have to upgrade to premium to collect payments. Oh, no. MailChimp, Stripe, and PayPal, basically all the important integrations, you have to have the Pro, $15 a month. And then you see here, it says Zoom integration because of the Pandy. Zoom is free. So yeah, you're just gonna have to play and see. And I'm not sure if there's a trial. Oh yeah, there is. It's right here. 14-day trial. So you can see how you like it. But I've been using Calendly probably at least like 5 years, I think. And again, even if you just have one event, like my friends and family know I'm about to send you a Calendly link. You're not about to go back and forth.
Before you embed, I had a question about policy. And when
Yeah.
you said at the end that you just put cancellation, like you put very succinctly, like no returns, X, Y, and Z, do you ever link the policy that you have on SquareSpace into that Calendly?
You could, but it would literally be a link. Maybe that's something that you could, I would say, link it to your confirmation email and then have it in there, because then it'll be cleaner. Because you know how you can link, what do you say? Embed a link into words? Okay. You get what I mean?
Yes, I know what you're saying. Yes.
If you had it in, if you had it there, I don't think that they would be, I don't know if they would be able to click on it. You feel me? Because it will be text. So I would rather have it that it's in the confirmation email that it links to it, because then they can actually click on it and it means something. Not that it means nothing, but you feel me?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, why not do that? Anything else before I embed? It'll take us 2 seconds. Let me find a random form. Let me make a blank page real quick. So, blank page. Calendly example. Okay. Edit. We need a section. It can be blank. And let's go here. Should be settings. Am I lying? Am I lying? Or did I may have just embedded it with the link actually. Let's see. Now I actually don't remember. Edit, add internal note, clone, save to template. Fun facts about cloning. It actually is super helpful for me. I clone quite often. So when I have a personal client, maybe like an ops client or like an automation something, I could just duplicate that and then make it specific to that new person. And you can also make templates in here to create new calendar invites. So I think we're gonna find out together. I think I did this with the link. Let's see. I'm gonna embed. Yeah, I did. Content. See if it finds it. Oh, is it public? It is public. It says no. Let's see why. This is stuff I like when we get to troubleshoot together. Make this Calendly. So let's see what it comes up as. Are you using it? Nope. Okay. Life made. Let's see. Why can't you be reached, bro? Oh, because I didn't spell it correctly. Okay, it's still no. Make sure it's not a hidden page. Yeah, right? That's what I thought. Automation console, it's public. Let's see if we can see why. That's why I didn't do it by a link. I knew that didn't sound like me. All right, so from the beginning, close this. So you have your events. You choose the one that you want to put on there. You're gonna share. You're gonna add to website, and we're gonna embed inline. So you see, you can do a widget pop-up, a text pop-up. We're gonna embed inline, and it says it, add a scheduling page to your site. Continue. And here, I actually did copy, I did change this because I don't know if you all use stickies, you Mac users, but I use my stickies to have quick references. So one of the stickies is all my brand colors and the hex code for each brand color. And so I took a few of those colors and I put them in here. So one of them is, I'm not even gonna open it because it looks crazy right now. I can't expose myself like that. But here is where you can customize the colors to match your brand colors. So you can choose a few colors, background color, change the background color to whatever the background color is on your Squarespace website, or at least that page that you're gonna embed it into, so it doesn't look crazy. And then that's it. You can hide the event type details, but I wouldn't do that. Hide the GDPR banner. I wouldn't hide it. It doesn't really matter in America, but that is relevant if you have European clients. And if you don't know what that is, then don't even worry about it. And that's it. So now we're going to copy the code. You can click this Squarespace right here, and it'll give you a full tutorial, but I mean, this is pretty much it. Edit. Let's delete this guy. We're going to start fresh. New. Embed. Nope. Code. HTML. Paste it. It takes a second. And sometimes when you embed a form on Squarespace, it actually won't show you usually. So just leave it, ignore it. Come to our example. Ooh.
Wow, that was
Right? And then the goal always is we're getting people on our website. So, and you're still, you're still using Calendly, and that's literally it. So you can, lifemade.com/yoga packages, /consults, right? /business training, whatever you want it to be. And then you can choose the same way I just embedded this one Calendly. If you did yoga classes, you have a one pack, a 3-pack, and a 5-pack. Boom, 1, 3, 5. And let's duplicate it actually, so we can pretend that we're doing that. Rennie, you know how you have do it for you, do it with you, do it yourself?
yeah.
You could do, let's duplicate. If you duplicate in Squarespace, you wouldn't actually do this for Calendly, but we're gonna just duplicate it. And then we're gonna drag, let's see, yep, it lets us, boom, that's 2. Duplicate, that's 3. I'm gonna drag this one right next to it. So you see it's script disabled, so you'll never be able to see what you're embedding in Squarespace ever, which is my kind of chaos, you feel me? And then done, save. Let's come back, refresh. Boom, Macule. And then you have all your shit. And that's it. And this is all my, just to say, like, settings, LifeMade, that's where you put your logo. That's my profile picture, and that's my name. So you can customize all of that. We went through that in the settings, or you don't have to have any of that if you don't want to. But yeah, holla at me. What are you gonna say?
For those 3, since you said like one would be, they would each be something different, would you create those different titles in Calendly first before you duplicate that?
Yeah, I actually would never, you know how I just duplicated it?
Mm-hmm.
I would never do that, right? Because I just duplicated the same event. I just did it as an example. If you were actually going to do that, you would have 3 different event types, right? And you would, for each one, you would share, add to website, embed inline, right? Copy the code. I just did it as an example.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
You would do it 3 times. But that would be so cute. Rennie, yeah, you got to do that. Anything?
Yeah, this was an amazing discovery for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my favorite kind of words. You're so welcome. I really love Calendly a lot. And especially if you do work with clients, like, yo, it's a game changer for time management and questions. And then also with this, I mean, honestly, a key to Calendly for me working so well, I guess it's kind of the same with how Candace was like, do people kind of get salty about you setting the link? Is that I make it very clear, because I mean, that is what it is. If it's not on my calendar, it doesn't exist. And this is a way of enforcing that for myself and for people who work with me, so that they just know. And by doing things like this, it eliminates that whole like, are we still meeting tomorrow? Which some people still do, even though it's on the calendar. And then I have to respond, is it on the calendar? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, we're meeting. And that could sound rude, but.
Can I ask a quick question? So for in-person clients, like, so I have a personal training business. I have some people that do like 3 days a week, but then something comes up last minute, and I have no problem with people moving things around, but my irritation comes with all the back and forth. Can you do it? Yes, I can. No, I can't, whatever. When they go to reschedule, are they able to edit their own date and choose a new one?
Thank you, because it's, because I kind of asked something about this that I wanted to address. So, okay, you actually, so no, because you can't, and this is the next, hopefully Calendly upgrade, is the recurring meeting thing, because that's like our common thing that keeps coming up, is that the recurring meetings.
Wait, I'm really sorry if this has already been asked. I muted the whole thing for a minute because I thought my neighbors were having sex, but really it was the geese.
I like that your neighbors having sex could sound like geese. That's my biggest takeaway. No, we didn't. It's something that actually, because I had mentioned that I wanted to go back to. So thank you for bringing this up, because I want to show you an example. So look, Candace and you and I met yesterday, right? Here, what I would have done, actually, let's leave this because let's not be my business. This one, let's do CEO day, because that's just for me. Also, if you are a CEO days are very fun. I highly encourage them. We're gonna say, all right, I'm not gonna actually change it. Let's pretend this was a Calendly invite. And let's pretend that it was for a personal client. They paid, how would I do this with a personal client? What I would do is, because the thing is, it depends on how they pay you. All right, let's say it's for Keziah. You have a yoga person. They just booked you for an 8-pack 2 times a week for 4 weeks. What I would do is I would take that Calendly invite that's going to show up on your calendar. I would come here, custom, and then I would do it's not every day. What is it? It is every week. It repeats every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Why won't you let me? There we go. Tuesdays and Thursdays, every week. It stops after 8 occurrences, because I bought an 8-class pack, right? So that's how I would manage this. And Candace, technically you could do the same. I'm not on mute.
We can hear you now.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, I don't know that I said anything super crazy, but if I were Keziah, this is how I would do it. They would book me, and then I would just go into the actual invite, because we're both on the invite, and I would just change it to recur for 8 times, Tuesdays and Thursdays at that time. In theory, though, they could meet with you on Tuesdays at 10, and they could meet with you on Thursdays at 2, right? So you would have to go in then and manually update it to match that new schedule, because that's not something that Calendly, unfortunately, that's not something that they have fixed or addressed rather. Let's hope it's coming. Candace, what I would do for you, I would say 2 things you could do. So let's say someone's like, oh, I know we're supposed to meet tomorrow, but I can't make it. Can we reschedule? I would make an event type called like private client rescheduling. And you're like, all right, cool. Here, book me for the next time that you want, right? We're still on for, if we meet every Friday at 8 and they're rescheduling tomorrow as Friday, we're still on for next Friday, but here's the link. Go ahead. you can rebook me for the next time that you want. That's how I would address that. I think that would be perfect for you. Or you can create a one-off event so that they don't have access to that link to just try to keep booking time with Candace. So it depends on how the precedent that you want to set. For me, I would probably make a one-off Calendly event type, which we can do at the top, right? We can make an event, or we can make an event type or a one-off meeting. I would probably make a one-off meeting because I don't want you to think that you can keep doing this, or I don't want you to have access to this link to just keep, hey, just book some time with you for Tuesday. I use that link that you sent me. I can't meet tomorrow. I don't like that. So that's how I would address that. And I think that would work well for you.
Okay, so 2 questions.
Mhm.
The first one, do they have the ability to cancel, and then it automatically takes that off your thing so someone else could book if they wanted to, and if you set that time as available?
Beautiful question. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful question. 2 things about that. Yes or no. It's in the settings, and we actually did not address that. So we're going to find it. They can reschedule with you however much you allow them to. So I said you can reschedule up to 1 time, but there is a setting in here that I need to adjust because I said that. That's one thing. When you get from your end as a person booking time, like when you saw the email from me, there's a link there to reschedule if I allow that link to show. So yes.
Okay.
The other side of it that I love is because people will do this, they'll email you and be like, hey, can I cancel, or can we reschedule, or can I cancel, or whatever. If you just go to your calendar and you delete the calendar invite, Calendly you'll instantly get an email from Calendly. It'll be like, your event with so-and-so is canceled, because they're integrated together. And that's a feature that I really, really love. And it's canceled for both people. They get on a notification that it's canceled.
Cool.
But
So then if somebody, going back to Keziah's example where like somebody buys an 8-pack, you set it up so they can book, and then they have 8, it's done after 8 occurrences. Would you then set up a zap so that it prompts them that when the 8 occurrences are done, they need to buy? Because the other problem I'm having is like, I'm trying to keep track of how many sessions people have had, and then emailing them to them and saying like, you got to book again, so I'm sick of working for free,
Or that's a great question. I think to address that, okay, well, 2 things. It depends, because if you had, let's say it was an 8-class pack, well, because it could be a recurring payment, right, on Squarespace. Let's say it's not that, because if it was a monthly subscription, then problem solved, right? If it wasn't that, I actually wouldn't set up the Zap. I would just, I would schedule it in Gmail, which was the last productivity party. So, boom, compose.
But is there any way to automate it so that you don't have to go in and hit send? Because yes, most people are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but some people switch things around, things come up, they get sick, whatever. And so
Right.
it's not always like at exactly every 4 weeks they need to buy something new, which is
Right.
why I haven't transitioned my in-person clients to the subscription.
What would I do for that? I think I would, how would I automate it? I wouldn't do a Zap, because I feel like a Zap would still be time dependent, I think if I wanted to prompt someone because they got to their last meeting, we got to our last of 8. I gotta think about that. I'll tell you guys when I think about it.
Okay.
There's gotta be something. We booked for 8 sessions. We're down to 8.
Megan, does Calendly have an option where you could set that, like if Candace knew that there were going to be 8, and then after the 8th and final, there could be a workflow that was the final? No. Okay.
No, that would be the dream though. That would be the dream. And I think honestly, this is the same issue in Dubsado, because it's a matter of, like Candace, like you were saying, shit happens, right? And things get rescheduled. So you can't just say that it's going to be 4 weeks clean, because that's that wouldn't be life.
Maybe that's where you go into like mind body, like you get some sort of client like that, some sort of, tool like that, where it tracks how many sessions you have and then triggers you to automatic, like prompts you to buy another session because it already knows when that last session happened. I don't know. Trying to avoid that though.
Facts, but now, okay, that's actually helpful for me to brainstorm this, because now, so like for me, for example, I have all my clients listed in Notion, right? And I have so like with one friend, if we work out, I have a list of every day that we've ever worked out. And in there, I have all the workouts programs, because whenever I come in, we meet, I send her my Spotify, I come into Notion on my phone, I have the program. In that regard, I feel like, I'm going to brainstorm this, but I feel like Rennie and I just got put onto reminders in Notion. And I feel like using reminders or something of this sort could maybe address this kind of without using mind body. But yeah, I'm going to think about it. Something to brainstorm. Let me write that down. And if there's anything else like that you want me to figure out, please let me know and I'll address it when I send this recording out.
Also have the tracking of that, because I'm right there with Candace, like keeping track of how they're rescheduling. And so it's like, oh, you had 4. Did you use all 4? Where are you at? That part is also.
So how to automate sending, sending a payment link for a new pack, and how to track client usage or meeting count. How to track client meeting count. And I'll pretend there's like, this is for someone who has 10 clients for my brain without using mind body. All right, boom. What else? Anything else like that you want me to figure out? Let's see. Last thing, I'll let you go. I don't want that. We did not find, or rather I didn't show you the rescheduling. Let's see. Reminders, follow-ups, and more. Reminders, email follow-up, notify, show cancellation policy. You can reschedule. Oh, this is an option. We did do this. Include cancel and reschedule links and notifications. So if you want them to be able to cancel or reschedule, you have this checked. And if you don't want them to be able to cancel or reschedule, then you go ahead and get rid of that. And then I wouldn't say you can reschedule twice. And that is, I believe this is the third box. Oh no, the 5th box. Notifications and cancellation policy, which makes sense. So just think of it as being attached to the cancellation policy. And I will say, as you get accustomed to Calendly and start adding your own events, for the beginning, when you set up the event, just how we did today, go through everything. I can pretty much hop in here and create a new event real quick and just know that I have everything covered. But in the beginning, open it just to be sure. This, add whatever you need. Open all the options that you could possibly have, just so you make sure you're not missing anything in the beginning. And then over time, you'll either get like you'll memorize it, or you'll probably start cloning events and tweaking them, right, to fit your new offering or for different clients. And that's pretty much it. I love how I was like, it's gonna be so much faster. It was still 90 minutes. You all had great questions, so I really appreciated that. Yeah, that's all I got. Any last questions, concerns? Do you feel better about this? Do you feel like you would actually use Calendly? Okay, dope. Yay.
Yes, this feels a lot better, honestly. And you have me debating even using Dubsado at all, because this is covering a lot. So
yay. Ooh, ooh. And then also, if you, on the Dubsado note, maybe you have I don't know, maybe your contract is somewhere hosted on your website. Maybe your contract is hosted on Google Drive and it's like a forced download, which is something we'll talk about in the future, but you can manipulate Google Drive links to have them as a forced download, a forced copy. So for example, if I go to bit.ly /resume, if so, hey, you a liar. Oh, did I delete it? Whatever, I'm not trying to get hired. Up until today, that would put my resume on people's computers. So I've had people hit me up from 7 years ago, like, yo, I just found your resume. So you can do that with the contract, and then you could have people just add their name, right? Or just sign it. So you could get away with that and just have it in the confirmation email that's attached to Calendly. It seems user-friendly. It's awesome, really excited to set up and integrate it. Yes, yeah, same Candace, same. It seems user-friendly. I need to go back and watch the Google Productivity Party. The Google Productivity Party is a perfect complement to this, absolutely. And honestly, after this, even if you come in and you rewatch this to set up your shit now, I would watch that first, because especially the calendar integrations part is key to really getting the best out of Calendly for sure. And again, in the YouTube, there are like 57 million timestamps that I put, so you can hop around. Only reason I kept Dubsado was for the client portal. Right. And honestly, also, I think Dubsado is very, it's like a pseudo CRM, right? But so many of us on here use Notion. That's your CRM. And Notion has a CRM template. So you don't even have to make it. You can just use theirs. And for all of you with personal clients, I would say that's just best practice. Maybe if you can get into the habit of when you get a client or a individual client, no matter in what capacity, to document it somewhere, because also it's just, on one hand, it's beautiful to know what you've accomplished. Sometimes we can just go, and we like, oh, what am I even doing? And then you can look back and say, in 2020, I had 27 different, personal training clients, and I really got to contribute to people's health in 2020. And then also you launch some new shit and you can see who it's relevant for. Maybe someone hasn't booked you in 4 months and you haven't even noticed because you're so busy and you want to check in with them. It's just a best practice. And it's something that I do, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. All your client notes, how do they perform? What are their pain points? We keep so much in our brains, like get that shit out. You feel me? That's it. I'll stop sharing. To all you watching in the future, bye, stay dope, stay beautiful. Stop.